more sense for you. And all slides I put on LinkedIn. I also share with this the community people. They will share on their LinkedIn handle. So all you can after this, not today, tomorrow you can see the slide deck and everything. You can see that one. We also talk about use cases. And one thing I want to share that Azure OpenAI was private preview when I was working Microsoft. So only specific users, specific companies, they can use it. And now it's in a public preview, which means that everyone preview, no public preview, right? Everything is open. All the people can access. Depends if you have a subscription for that. Luckily I have subscription, so I can share with you how it works. And sorry for my voice. It's raining very heavily last couple of weeks in Singapore, so my throat has become a bit hoarse a couple of days. Okay. And we also talk how we can integrate Power Platform with Azure OpenAI. And I made everything for you that you can test it out in my GitHub repo. Okay. All the step-by-step guide I put in there, but I will show you also in my demo, and you can replicate in your GitHub if you want to. Okay. Now, first thing I want to share with you is that why we having this much challenges, right, in couple of months and maybe years, maybe. And you have seen that the inflation, I mean, this is common thing, right? Whether it's India, whether it's Singapore, Malaysia, the inflation is increasing. And it's mostly specific because of the war happening in Ukraine and other countries, Israel, Hamas, and also geopolitical tensions are coming there, right? And if you know that I have a lot of friends in France and all, and I would just let you have a lot of my colleagues in France and London as well have relatives there, and the pricing of the gas has increased 50%, right? So if you pay £100, now you have to pay £200, something on that side. So it's very tough right now. So we are living in uncertain times, right? Moreover, we have talent of shortage, right? It's very difficult to find good people. So that is something we have to take note. Why I'm telling you this thing is because of the how our applications, I mean, talking about technical stuff, how we can make applications more smarter with lesser time. Okay. Now, what we can do here is we can have now these are samples, right? This is from the Microsoft given a lot of use cases. So I'm giving some three examples, which is just not Azure OpenAI, it's a common Azure AI, a lot, just not Azure OpenAI. So it is a intelligent document automation, right? And you must be knowing a very big company, EY, and they have places, all the places, Singapore, Australia, obviously Singapore and India as well, right? And they are making a lot of automation. It's become very manual. And when they use Azure AI, I'm not talking about OpenAI, Azure AI, they actually try to save that money, 25, 250 man hours they can saving time. So it's very huge hours. It's not money, it's hours, right? Same thing for PepsiCo. Same thing happened. They're using a model which is make life easy for the end users, and also for the it's a web company for oil and gas company. They are also doing a lot of things using chatbots. So you can see differences between different applications. Everything is making much faster because people have lesser time and they want to build applications simpler and easier, faster. So Azure OpenAI come into picture, right? This is some uh, use cases which we can try it out. I mean, this is an example which I did, and Microsoft has keep on changing the use cases. I went to Philippines a couple of months back, and then new changes came, and then Microsoft released more OpenAI services, and also when you work in these tech companies, there always have updates happening there. Okay. Now, one thing I have to, this is so many things right now, but this topic I'm talking about just about OpenAI, Azure OpenAI, right? And this is the one which I will talk here, right? And it has a lot of features. It has the GPT 3, 4, and we have Dolly, which you have seen maybe in Bing. Codex, ChatGPT, everyone knows, right? So something which is very, very common right now. Um, and OpenAI service is part of your Azure set of services, right? We have seen vision, speech, language, decisions, and the last one, the latest one is Azure OpenAI services. Okay. One thing I want to let you know, these services are comprehensive, right? And when I talk about these services, these are huge topics, right? If I want to go to vision, I can talk for 3 hours, 4 hours continuously. But our topic for this session is just for OpenAI. Okay. Sorry. And we have better with co-pilots. And maybe if you have experience with co-pilots, I will do some more sessions with this group. I will have many sessions about how we can use co-pilot. But here we talk about how we can use OpenAI with co-pilots, right? This is we can see in some examples towards the end. Okay. One thing which I will just share with you is about the OpenAI. It's a small company, right? It's very small company. And then Microsoft invested $10 billion. That is not this year. It's actually from 2016 onwards. 2019 onwards, to 2019. They put a lot of money inside, and they found that this company can do wonders for Microsoft things, and you can find it out, right? Copilot is here. You can have Power Platform. We have Dynamics Open. Copilot is, of M65 was just released in last November. So it's huge. It's huge, right? So whether it's a modern work, whether it's business applications, whether it's security, Copilot is everywhere, right? So in this example, we talk about the one example where we can use Power Apps and Power Automate. That's it. I can talk about more, but let's focus on one small area, how it can be used. You can use it. Okay. And this is my highlighted. This we focus on the Power Platform specifically, and then we have Copilot Studio and those things. I will do some session on that, but let's focus on these two first. Okay. I give you the gist how it works, and then we can expand to some other sessions towards next months. Now, again, you can take pictures and all, but I will share this slide deck with you later on Monday. Sorry, on tomorrow. And one thing I will just call out is about the OpenAI and OpenAI, the normal OpenAI, right? Now this is from Microsoft, right? Microsoft is a huge organization, and this is as you can start a thing as a startup, right? And Microsoft invested a lot of money inside, right? 10 billion, right? And they know that the values, right? So now if you a lot of example that we can do, but one thing which I stand out, I want to tell you, I have a video link, but you can watch it later. It's about the ownership. Ownership is Microsoft work with the OpenAI people to make their own flavor, right? So OpenAI is open, right? Everyone can do. So OpenAI I mean, ownership is developed by Microsoft and OpenAI. The one thing which I have keep telling to many customers, even for community events, is that the security is you can't beat security from Azure specifically, right? And Azure is there for many years, and it has the world-class security features. And now one thing about now, it, I am not doubting security controls of OpenAI, but that is a relatively new organization, startup, but they have their own controls, and we don't know whether those controls are good or bad, right? They have their own thing there. So something which is important that's why I put star, right? Everyone knows how the security works in Azure. Maybe not so for the Azure for the OpenAI. ChatGPT 4 support is still in preview, and if you want to use 4G ChatGPT 4, you have to pay $20 per month with GPT Plus. Okay. Uh, One thing which Microsoft is also boast of is that their own security, and we'll see security in one of the demos. That once I open Power Apps with Power Automate, people can't access. Still, they have a private endpoint. This is possible using OpenAI because they don't have that kind of endpoint kind of features right now at this point of time. Again, they are improving a lot. So I won't say that they are doing wonderful. They are keep improving, right? So Microsoft, and again, this slide deck is 3 months back, right? Maybe they add more later on. Access is important that you must have an API key, right? API key is required. For OpenAI is open to all, right? If you have a Gmail account or a Facebook account, you can access and do everything. The problem with that is that OpenAI do trainings on your data. Again, OpenAI do the data on your data. Example, I'm doing some company search, right? So if I just disable the OpenAI, I can't do ChatGPT features. Why? Because then you can't do it because they will scan what you are searching. And this is a very sensitive thing, right? Think about hospitals. Think about defense, right? You want to show what they're doing. So this is very bad for that. But thanks to uh, Azure OpenAI, everything you can control it. One thing I will boast is that OpenAI has far more regions at this point of time. And because Azure OpenAI is slightly newer in terms of the facilities, in terms of regions, we still have West, East, and now they're adding more. Sweden is they added. They also added Asia, and they are adding more. So I just want to this is the 3 month slide deck. They're adding more. They added Sweden. They also added Asia, right? So they added more things. But now you can see that API access is much more countries the OpenAI have done. So what if and bad? But I think about if you have a security access, uh, number one service will be Azure OpenAI. Okay, that's something I want to share with you. This is something very important to take note. Now I will share about some use cases, right? And these are real use cases. I mentioned to you that many organizations have a private preview. So Microsoft have worked with them and they came with some use cases. These are these common use cases. Okay. So one organization which I was not part of, but I actually assisted is it's very large organization in Asia, and they were doing some form recognizer, right? Think about you have 1,000 or 10,000 records for loan applications, right? And it's a human error will be there. So they use Azure Form Recognizer. Think about the your insurance claims. Think about the scale the people have it. So they have some PDF OCR, and what they do, they use Azure Cognitive Services, which is people already know that this is very common, it's very powerful application. And what they do, they use something called Azure Functions, and the data is into Cosmos DB. Because I mentioned about the data is every day some 1,000 to 10,000 in a day. So the only data which can comprehend is Cosmos DB. And to have this quick and prompt they want to have, they called as Azure OpenAI services. So the users can search, right, using the cognitive search. And something I want to search for insurance claim for a quarter last year, Q4, then immediately I get the data which is coming from Azure account services, but I'm using prompt. So just think about ChatGPT. So I using feeding the Azure OpenAI, and my search is coming from Azure account services, and then I fetching my data and show to web application or using Power BI services. So these are the things which you can do to summarize the data. Now this is a simplified way to do it, but the how it's structured, you get the high level. There are many details in that. They have a lot of redundancy, right? They could be in US, they could be people can be in Australia. So they have the Cosmos DB into multiple regions in Azure. And this is another example where a caller use. This is I'm calling it the old fashion of mobile phone here, but think about a telephone company where they have to have telephone servers and they need some kind of translation. Think about WhatsApp. Think about WhatsApp, right? They want to have some kind of data with images and all, and they have audio files to be done, right? We have audio and video with WhatsApp. I mean, give an example. You can relate, and then they want to have some speech to text, right? In WhatsApp you can have a speech and they can translate. Now WhatsApp doesn't have that service, but this organization have this service required that people from different regions, they can speak without anything, without any barriers, right? Whether I'm speaking French or I'm speaking in English or speaking in Hindi or any language, this can be done without any language barrier. So they use these services to work, and this is a call center application they're working on. And then after everything works, this shows the data to the real time data to the Power BI report. Okay, and they're using the Dynamics 365 for that. Okay, this is very high level, but the data which they use is I mean talking about millions of records every day, right? So when you use cognitive services in Azure OpenAI, these are actually expensive services. Okay. Okay. Again, I'll give you an examples. I was working for one of the companies, and I'm using my own examples to show the demo. And I forgot to turn off my Azure OpenAI, and then I was paid $200 extra because I didn't turn off that I didn't delete that particular services. So these services are pretty expensive, right? So just want to share about my real examples. I forgot to turn off that service in Azure. Okay. And this is something old. Why I'm old? Because now we have um, Microsoft PVA Cox to understand PVA has changed, right? So we can use the PVA features to Power Automate, and the data will fetch to the cognitive services. Okay, and then once we have the data working fine, then it will show the to the our as a prompt to the end users. Now why I'm telling you, this is actual example which we implemented at one of the organizations in Singapore, where the end users is in a hotel industry, where a lot of people ask questions about the hotels and the rate, how what is the rate for next couple of days. So they want to see. So what they're doing, right? The user can search the data, right? The users are search the data, and then they're using natural language using Power Automate, right? So we can integrate the PBA with the Power Automate, right? Now the only the problem with that hotels is actually it's a multi country. It's just not Singapore. Actually, can be in Thailand, could be in Australia, other places. So the cognitive services has to be load balancer. It could be the user can search from India or other places, so they need a load balancer, and the data is mostly stored into your Azure storage. And when the data and the number of maybe think I'm going for a holiday in June, right? I want to have a holidays. I stay in Singapore. So I search for the date that these are dates, and I use Power Automate to find. Then all my data is coming from my Azure storage, and I do scrolling because the data could be very huge data, right? I use Azure functions. I also combined with my cognitive services, and the OpenAI actually give you a prompt to me, right? So when you work for cognitive services, you had to work together with the Azure OpenAI and cognitive services together, because this is the actually the brain of the thing, and this is just for prompts, right? Just for prompts. So the main the thing actually is cognitive services which is have connected to your Azure storage. So this is a real example. Let me show that example in the GitHub, so do you get an idea? It's not my thing. It's one of the Microsoft person who made this application for the US federal company, right? So you can see that how he has done, what have he done, and is for the commercials. It's one of the faculty which he did for the for federal. You see that federal application for the community, right? So again, this is an example, but you can see everything. You can try to use Power App solution, use the key and try to work it out. So the just start this is using the PVA, using Power Virtual Agents license and all. So you must try these things if you want to try it out. So these are the few examples which I can share with you. Okay. So that is one example. Another example is which I have. Okay. Um, that I can use Azure function with OpenAI, right? So Azure function is if something is more complex scenarios, just not using the custom connector, we can use custom connector. We can do everything. So then we can use Azure functions. So here I can ask some questions by my Power Apps, and my custom connector will work, and then it asks some questions from OpenAI, and then later in the UI we show me the answer, and we'll see this thing in my demo. Okay. Same thing happens here in the authentication standpoint. I can have my knowledge bot. Now, I want to tell you something that is very common scenario that many people use SharePoint, right? And I can easily integrate with my SharePoint with Power Apps, Azure OpenAI, and OpenAI service all together by just using PVA also, right? If you know about the new features which Ignite released, right? You can see that everything is very easily created. Earlier, it was quite difficult, but now you can use PVA to query the questions, and it will show the data immediately, and your data is actually saved. Okay, so these are the few things, and this is my GitHub. I mean, I'm giving a demo right now, but I give you how it works. You can just have a look on this. Where is my yeah, this GitHub repo. And what I have done is that I have done different 4 examples, and it has a complete solution also. If you find it's not working and all, you can find everything. So today we'll work on this example. Okay, I want to call the services. I'm using Power Apps. I'm calling the services. You can see step by step I'm showing and how you do it, everything. So you can see in my demo, but if you want to go step by step, you can just follow this particular um, link, which I've shared with you. Okay, let me share it with you inside as well. Okay, and everything. I mean, one thing I will share with you because Azure OpenAI service is a slightly complex scenario to do it. So if you're a beginner for Azure, it may take some time, but I'm assuming that all the people here know at least basic of Azure, the the VMs and the security and all basics. I mean, this concept I'm sharing is a bit intermediate concept. It's not beginner. Okay, and I will show you a demo step by step. You can follow it as well later on, right? And I mentioned to you that this Microsoft keep changing the UI, sorry, UI and also the API. So keep updating. So follow the instructions step by step, then you can get it working the things. Okay. Okay. Now let's work on the real stuff. Okay. So I have my let's go back to the my portal, Azure portal, right? We start with the portal, and then you get the idea. Okay. Now you see that I have Azure OpenAI services here. Okay, if you can find it, search for that Azure OpenAI service. All right, you must have subscription for this, right? I have subscription, that's why you can see it. Now it's public preview. The people who have a paid license, you can see immediately. But people who don't have a subscription, they're using trial. You have to subscribe for that. It's not free service. It's pretty expensive service. Okay. So I'm assume that everyone knows how the thing. So I just go back. I go to my Azure OpenAI service. Okay, and you can see It has many applications, OpenAI service, AI search, cognitive services. So it's a umbrella of services, right? Now, one services is called as the OpenAI service. You can see that they have AI services, computer vision API, everything. So it's an umbrella, big umbrella. And one of the services is called as OpenAI. Very, very important to take note here. Okay. So now I have OpenAI service and I want to create a new instance of my OpenAI service, right? So what I can do, I'm not sure, just want to how it works. I can create a new instance and I have a couple of resource group and you see, you can see that they have now OpenAI have open more regions, right? Earlier, only lesser. Now you have that France, Italy, South Asia. A lot of people they added lot of things. Earlier, they have were only 2, 3. Now they have a lot of services they have, right? So they keep on adding new services, new regions. Okay. Mostly again, for testing purposes, I either use East US or US2 because it always works. I don't know, never verified the Canada works and all. Australia because they are new, and Brazil I don't know. So I mostly check on the either East US or US2. Okay, I can put any name here. India, UG, and the pricing tier. Okay, and you can see the pricing is pretty. Um, you can see the pricing is pretty but expensive. No, it depends on the how you see. Everything is for turbo is per thing. You think that's expensive, it's cheap, but if you work for on the daily or monthly, it will be very expensive. Okay, depends. So the higher models like turbo, vision, and all, they are increasing as soon as possible, right? They are very no, the turbo they are cheap, and the more expensive models like GPT-4 they are increasing. They are more expensive, right? So I just want to one more thing is that different regions have different pricing, right? Example, if you go to Poland Central, now again, it doesn't make difference here, but more the services which I've seen, they are different pricing for different regions. Okay, so that's something I should want to show to you. And then I click on class, click and then I click on next. I can do some networking, right? We see security part later on. And then I click on that. I add a tag. This is my networking. I want to create a new demo. Click on next. And then I click on submit. All right. So that's something how I can do. So this is the way I can create a new instance and it will work for me. Okay. So let's go back here. Right. So assume this service is now working. Right, it's working. Now I want to try it out how things works, right? So what you can do here, once you have the instance working, you can try the different ways. You can use the monitor, the usage. I mean to you that this will be expensive product, right? You can develop your applications with the sample code, but there's something called a playground. You can try the playground, and it's a new thing which is called as a generative AI applications. A couple of months it was not there. Now they're adding new features. Now, if you want to try the new service, click on something called as a Azure OpenAI Studio. Now you see it's in preview, right? And you can try all the features there. You can check the playground. You can check the completions. Bring your own data. Lot of new things are coming there. Okay, so let's check on the models, right? I have different models I have. The model means it's the capacity, right? What you can do, right? The cheaper is ADA is a cheaper one, right? But the most expensive are Turbo 6 are more expensive products, right? And have a model number. So I can create a new model. I can do everything which I want to do, but I already implemented a model, right? And this is my model. I have a Turbo model, and this is my capacity. and I already did it a couple of months back. Okay, so I can deploy. I can create a new deployment. I select a model. I want to do maybe ADA, and this called as India UG. And one thing is the options, right? How the rate, how much the things more if you want to for more rate, more pricey your model will be, right? If you go for lesser, the the prompt quality will be less. So you have to take note for that. Now I create a new services, new. You see now this is have come right now. See, and the user rate is also lesser, right? So I can do anything there. Okay. Now I want to do some experiment, right? This is something which I'm first time learning. So I just what I can do, I can click on templates and let me search for Xbox, right? I said I can ask something. Why power button at Xbox doesn't work? I mean something what is it like, right? Click on that. Okay. Okay, you see the error is error because I have put some security, right? So I mentioned to you that security is a key in Microsoft, right? I want to think about the defense companies, right? Or they think about the hospital industries, right? Not everyone should be able to access the data, right? Maybe only the specific users they should access data. Think about I'm a just a normal consultant, right? But the management not able, they want only those people who are management people, those able to access. So you see that public access is disabled, which means not all the people in that particular network they can access. Okay, so how we can fix it? I will show the demo first, but you see that uh, I want to try it out, and this is the way I can think. So you see, I'm getting error right now because I have disabled a service, and which I mentioned to you, security is key in Azure. Okay, so I go back here, and then what I will do, I go to security. You see here is disabled, right? I click on all networks. Okay, it will affect all of them. I click on save. You see, I'm setting the firewall rules here. So what I'm doing here is I'm disabling all people, and all network, all the people on that organization, whether they are in from US or other countries, they can access, right? That's something we're doing. I refresh again. Right. But you see, now because I put a network which is open to all, now I can see. So this is a way you can just configure security in that. I mean, I've given an example because I have set a 3 day session. I mean, three long sessions for minimal hours in one of the user group, and I want to show to them how the security is can be done using Azure OpenAI service. Okay. Now let's work on the something which is important, which is called as a how we can use Power Apps and Power Automate using Azure OpenAI service, right? So let's go and work on a simple service. Okay, I have one service called as a very simple application, and I'm not doing from scratch because I have a given step by step guide in the report. You can follow up, right? But what I want to show to you is that in my example, in my solution, I want to show you that how the Power Apps and the Power Automate can work together. Okay, so I have very simple Power App, and this Power App, what I want to do is asking questions by users, and it's open to all, right? Everyone, because I have not disabled the security which I showed you, that only specific users can access. Now it's open to all the organizations, and because it's all networks I have enabled, right? So what I've done completely, I have asked questions. I have some simple buttons, controls, and then I have something called as uh, button. So I have some security. I'm using uh, calling a Power Automate service, right? So I'm just calling that one. So I click on that. Let me show you because it's not too easy to see. Yeah, I just show you. That's here, much bigger. Okay, so what I want to do, I want to just ask my people that they can ask questions. But what I want to do is I have to use a calling an API. Which API? Which I have showed you earlier. This is my API. Where is my API? Is here. Okay, I give you end-to-end solution there. So what I want to do, I want to ask questions. I don't know the API, so I have to click on my chat and I click on the V code. And what I will do, I copy the endpoint and the key. Okay, so what I'm doing here, I just call HTTP call, and this is the my endpoint. My endpoint. This is endpoint, and this is my key. Okay? And I put the API key and a key which I just copy it, right? And then in my body, I put the prompt, right? What prompt? Any questions the user can ask. Now this is a public. Everyone in that organization can ask questions, right? And I've used that content and the API, Azure API have the documentation. So how you got messages, how good you low role and users is all described into OpenAI services. How you can access? Just search, go for OpenAI documentation. Step-by-step guide with samples you can find it here. Everything here, documentation, search for embodies, everything is here. How to copy, how to do it, how to design prompts, how to message, everything is there. Okay, so I just use that method and that's it. Okay, so what I'm doing, I'm using this question. This is my question, right? I just this question for Power Apps, calling that method, calling that the API method here, and then doing some processing and passing. I'm passing the content there. This is very simple logic. I'm just copying the URL, getting all the content so that is easier for Power Automate and give back the answer to the shape to the Power Apps, right? So these are, and again, these are the premium connectors. Again, these are premium connectors. This one and this one, these are premium connectors, right? So you have to get either Dynamics 365 license or you to get the M65 premium license. I mean the Power Apps or Power Automate Flows license for that. Okay, that's something I want to show you. Now, what I will do, I just go and click on my question here. Okay, why Power Power governance is critical. Okay, click on that. Any error? No, I've been just want to see immediately get the answer there. And I can change the things. This is the gallery control, but you can just get the answer. How easily I can just call API, a normal API, and a call, and without anything, so I can just get the data. Okay, but I want to show something more complex scenarios as well. Where is my Yeah, and here. So this is, you see that it has a step-by-step guide here. I can that's why I'm following everything here step by step so that you can see how it works. I'm putting the post, I'm copying the URL, view the code, and then how it works, tried it out there, and copy the again the address you see the open API config. Just copied this thing. Now the method is changed. You see, in my way, where is my yeah, you see the method is different now. You see, so this is my repo is not too updated, but I want to tell you, just go to reference, you can find the actual the new updated one. Call this message and then you get the answer, right? So every step by step I'm given to things, and you can share it out and see how it works. Okay. So pass JSON. I give very detailed steps here. Okay. Now, one thing I want to show again is about the we can call um uh ChatGPT for different function. We can call it summarize, right? ChatGPT have using the different models. You can use the SQL, you can use classify, parse, a lot of things you can do. So in this example, what I'm doing, I'm creating many different functions, and I just copying the things and querying it, right? Exactly same step, but I'm using a different models. Again, I using ChatGPT DaVinci code, sorry, DaVinci model, and then I just copy the things there. So when I click on summarize, why Power App is so famous, I click on summarize, all data will be fetched to me. You see, it's because it's easy to use low code. So I'm actually doing summarize content. Same thing applies to if I click on my other content, it will give you all the details step by step. So now what I'm giving you, because of the short of time, I gave you how easily you can call the different methods, different kind of different kind of models very easily using Power Apps Power Automate. Okay, you can also use something called as a custom connector. Okay, so if now just assume I have a one scenario, I worked in one of the customer, and normal end users have don't know how to use custom connector, how to use it. So they want to keep just plug and play. So we can actually use a custom connector for our Azure OpenAI, and it will give you all the details. I mean, this is a developer point of view, but the end users can see very easily how it works. So again, it's a very detailed step-by-step guide I have prepared. So you can have very easily for end users who want to try it out, they can just plug and play, it will work for them. So this is something which I've given some examples for my end users. So this is actual hackathon I did for one of my customer, and then I showed to them how it works. Okay, and the example, it will create a demo. So end users, how when they see the end users, when they create a new application, custom connector. Okay, just click on that. You see, this is my custom connector. So end users, the normal end user have no idea how to use it. So they just copy the content and call the Power Automate. So in that way, I'm easily calling a default a custom connector because my end user have no expertise, and then I can call the Azure OpenAI service. So this is way you can call you see, I'm using the text DaVinci model, right? That's simple. Okay, so something I want to share with you how easily you can do it. Okay, and another example I want to share in this step-by-step guide is that I can call an OpenAI service and call as a team, Microsoft Teams as well, right? So I can ask any questions. and my teams, and then people can ask queries and all. So that is also possible to do it. So I just use the same method, but now my endpoint will be my teams, right? I'm just calling a channel, adding the service, calling the on the body, and then the user can easily try it out. It will work for them. So this is a very common scenario where many people use Teams to call a private endpoint, not the public endpoint, but maybe they want to use SharePoint as an end goal, and they want to have end services, and maybe they want to have an HR insurance plan for a new employee, and this ChatGPT using Azure OpenAI, it will give that information. So there are 100 new cases example. You can try it out there, right? My example is simple. Just want to show how initially you can do it, and then after a few seconds you get the answer using ChatGPT and Azure OpenAI, right? Something which is very simple, and you can try it out there. I mean, I give you a lot of step-by-step guide, but then in this repo you can find all the things. I have 4 samples here. Uh, they're not complex, but at least for starting point, they are good to know. Okay, so any other issues and all, you can just vent on. I can just contact me on my LinkedIn as well. This is my contact here. Okay, this may just want to. So if you want to contact me, you can just search for my name here, and where, yeah. Okay, I add a lot of content on my LinkedIn. You can just think. Okay, so that's something which I want to share with you. Okay, so that's it. Any questions you have? You just we have still have few minutes. You can ask me about anything right now, and I can answer with my capacity what I know. Okay, yeah, a pretty good Bhargav is pretty good use case. I mean, a lot of people are here. I'm happy to see this thing.
Yes, a big thanks for everybody for taking time out and spending. I hope it was a great session for learning. For some of you, it could be news. For some of you, already worked with it. So always look at it from a positive note. I will try to organize more such events in the coming day, especially in February. We have Francesco Musso lined up, who's going to be our speaker for the month of February. We'll send out the invitations pretty soon, so you can follow pretty much. I can share my LinkedIn as well, and you can follow to get all the updates pertaining to India Microsoft Tech Community, and also the India Microsoft Tech Community core group link from Meetup is something I can share as well, which you can follow for all the latest events that we are going to publish. So we're going to try to keep this as more like a monthly event and invite acclaimed speakers across the globe, and try to get you interesting topics at least once a month. And Aro, thanks a lot. Very detailed session. And quickly open the forum for any questions. If you have any questions, please raise your hand, and we can have a chat around the question. Yeah. Anybody has a question?
Anyone have any question? Otherwise, I will ask some questions. Otherwise, it's very difficult to gauge. Okay. I give you a thing which is a lot of people asked me previously, that how to get started with the Azure OpenAI services, right? I don't know how to just do it. And I give some resources where I start myself also get confused about how things service and all. So there are few things which I can share with you that we can start with. I'm not sharing my screen. Let me share my screen to you. Oh, it's my chat. There are a lot of courses here. This is a free courses I'm talking about from LinkedIn, who have subscription to LinkedIn. Is pretty good. But I also many do I do in a lot of research, right? So I just and one thing I will tell you that there are some people who are slightly more experienced in AI and all. So I want to give some additional resources because somebody asked me that how to get started with the ChatGPT and how to get started. So there are a few things which highly recommend is for search for this courses which I started with this. Yeah. This is free. These courses are free. The LinkedIn Learning is paid services, but this particular program, these are free. All right. And if you want to get your knowledge slightly more advanced, click on this. I'm in generative AI. Pretty. I'm big fan of this guy. It's a Andrew NG. He's a pretty smart guy, and the way he explains is something which is like I nobody can actually explain. He is a godfather of AI, right? So something which is very important to take note is like the way he speaks is uh, awesome, really good, right? Another course which I recommend again from him is called as uh, AI for everyone. Something else. Yeah, yeah, this one. This is also free. Okay, this is also free. All right, you don't have to pay for this. Where is my Teams link here? Okay, and okay, now if you want to go for sharing link with LinkedIn and all, then you pay $49, right? Again, $14 is for me is nothing much for knowledge, but I want to tell to people that how is it so important that how people you can get learned from that. So I paid. I mostly for me learning is important. Payment is always secondary, but it's very important to understand what you're doing. You can see all the modules there, all the modules there. So it's very important to get basics of the how the AI works and all. So these are a few courses which I recommend, and they are pretty not too long. It's okay. But if you want to really get excited about how the AI is running, please work on that. I tell you from the again as a Microsoft ex Microsoft employee and also thing, next couple of years will be AI, right? And if you don't know about AI, the market will be so competitive that it will be fine to find a job or find a new place for you, right? So please work on AI features. I won't say anything about the data science and all, but if you know about basics of AI, it will be good for your future, right? I'm not about Copilot and all in general. Basic of AI is important at this point of juncture in anyone's career. So these two courses are fundamental courses, but try to get more in depth. If you want to get contact me if you need more details and all. Uh, I'm big fan of AI. I'm running a course again in another platform. If you can, I will uploading the things there in next 2-3 weeks again. I will have a lot of details on that. It's a 4-hour sessions on Azure OpenAI. So if you get more details, you can just contact me on LinkedIn. But try with the AI in general first. It's very important at this point of time. When here people like Microsoft, Google, they are working very hard on to get people using AI. Use AI. I use AI mostly for all the things right now. ChatGPT, I using courses. I learn from courses, experiment with the new things and all. So keep experimenting. Yeah, that is my things which I want to share with you guys. Okay.
Thank you. Thanks a lot, Haru. I think if no further questions, we can drop out and really great to see all the enthusiasm. Let's
Sure.
catch up next month again,
Yeah.
guys. Thank you.
Thank